Hi, my name is Shradha Poddar, and I am presenting a journal article that I thought was useful in understanding event requirements. The journal article talks about the completeness of requirements. I find this bit particularly interesting because while we were planning our event, we kept asking two major questions. What if the requirements are not enough, and what if we need to change it? This article gives an insight about these questions, and I hope I can have an answer to these questions by the end of the video. Also, I have referenced the article in the first slide and speak in accordance of the references from the article and do not mention it in further slides. To begin with, we know requirements need to be consistent, necessary, unambiguous, and verifiable. But in addition to these qualities, one important factor is that it needs to be complete. Failing so, incomplete requirements cause more effort, time, training, and willpower to do the non-trivial extra work needed to make requirements complete. It is difficult to allocate adequate resources to those requirements and adjust to its availability. Also, certain stakeholders take fundamental aspects for granted, and there is lack of certain information. So now to answer the question, why is completeness so essential? It quenches customer satisfaction of getting involved with the product and they accept it with more enthusiasm. Cost estimates need to be reworked because either certain elements were missing and need to be re-added, or for doing so, extra costs need to be reintroduced. Incomplete requirements are based on a lot of assumptions and often miss out essential contributions from the designing or execution team. This in turn leads to ambiguity and renders the requirements unverifiable. But what does completeness actually mean? And how can it be interpreted? Well, you can see that there are 7 ways to look at it, and I will be focusing on one aspect of it in this video. That is the second one, individual requirements. The definition says that it needs to have all important information and avoid ambiguity and no extra efforts to make it verifiable for its implementation. It will be so if it fulfills all conditions and constraints applicable. Firstly, it should be functional. For example, having an evacuation plan for our team means that we have taken care of safety for everyone at the event. These functions have trigger points. In this case, it would be, is everyone going to be safe? And preconditions, what if we do not have an evacuation plan and the lights go off? Actions, in accordance to the preconditions, would be the plan itself to rescue everyone, and post conditions that we don't have any major losses. If preconditions aren't met with satisfaction, post conditions fail and make the requirements incomplete. Second, data requirements are all about detailing and specifications. For example, films for the festival and the filmmakers. For example, how long will the film be? What content? How many films? Who can contribute? Does it go well with the theme? Etc. etc. Well, if it does not satisfy this, it can be called as incomplete. Third, interface requirements talks about the link between a requirement made by the team and its usage externally. Best example could be registrations, either of the attendees or the filmmakers participating. We have used Google Forms to collect data from the filmmakers and plan on opening registrations on Eventbrite for attendees. Also, it gives the team a direction and pattern to work with and plan the program for the event. Lastly, quality requirements focus on how acceptable, correct, reliable, profitable, safe, usable a requirement is. For example, according to the theme set, are all social media promotions alike? Well, they need to be of the same quality, colors, correct data, and reliable. It shouldn't be against the GDPR law or against the will of any filmmaker. It should be promoted with relevant intentions and must not misinform anyone or hurt any sentiments of the viewers. Constraints of a requirement focus on the execution and reality of a requirement being specified. If it is too unrealistic or ambiguous, it should be eliminated in the beginning and not postponed to the end with the chance of it being possible. If all these points are kept in mind, we can say the completeness of a requirement has been met. In conclusion, it is reasonably well known that requirements will never be totally complete, finished, and finalized as long as the system is in service and must evolve to meet the changing needs of the customers and users. However, the preceding sections of this presentation makes it clear that requirements teams can do much more and ensure that requirements are adequately complete at any given point in time. It is the intent of this presentation to help generate checklists that will enable them to produce better quality requirements. Thank you so much.